Explosive move higher in precious metals prices. Why is that happening? Will it continue? We're going to look at the reasons why we believe it will continue in this video. Thank you for joining me. We are living through historic times in the precious metals markets. Many of us have been waiting for decades to reach the point where we are right now. It's a big honor that you choose to join me down here in the basement. I hope you enjoy your time. We love to talk about gold and silver, and special for you today, it's free to subscribe. So please press that subscribe button. But let's go take a look at what's happening out there in the markets right now, because it certainly appears to be a historic time and a historic day for the metals. Let's go to gold here first. $3,410, up $50 per ounce. What we're looking at here is a one-year chart of gold, okay? And as you can clearly see, it is a thing of beauty. And all indications are that we'll continue in that direction. We'll talk about a lot of the reasons why here in a few moments, but let's go take a look right now at the silver chart, because it is just as interesting. Here we go. Hold on here one second. All right. In silver, again, we're looking at a one-year chart. We are currently up 84 cents per ounce. Unbelievable. Remember everybody who was telling us last week that we were going to have a correction in silver? Well, we had a correction, all right, and it definitely was to the upside. This was our key level of resistance that we broke through not too long ago, but then another level that's a little bit high. Hold on here. Another level of resistance here in this range. And as you can see now, guys, we have clearly broken out. And the good news is that when silver gets above $40 at this point, right? We wanted to get through 35. We wanted to get through 37 range. When silver gets through $40, don't you feel that it's just going to absolutely take off? Remember, the nominal high for silver is around $50, but that was set back in 1980 and also in 2011. When measured in today's, when we adjust that number for inflation, we could see the silver price, right? Where is he? There he is, right there. Smitty the Bear, not Smitty. Smitty, yeah, Smitty the Bear with his $85 blindfold. He's the silver bear. His blindfold comes off at $85. We could get there so fast, right, that it might make heads spin. We've got people talking about $100 silver again, like it's coming in the near term. We'll see how it plays out, but let's talk about some reasons why. We want to know the reasons why this is happening. Before we do that, while we're here, I want to say thank you to our channel sponsor, First Mint. Speaking of silver, First Mint is a silver mint located in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're owned by First Majestic Silver, the huge silver mining company run by Keith Neumeyer. So First Majestic mines the silver in Mexico, ships it to First Mint in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they create these world-class silver bullion products. This is their latest, and I think I'm falling in love. That is their Las Vegas silver round. But you can go out to their website, firstmint.com. They have other coins. They have a buffalo coin with an American Indian image on it that is one of my absolute favorites. They have a year of a snake, year of the dragon. They have 5-ounce bars. They have 10-ounce bars, and they have kilo bars. But what they don't have is silver that's ever been touched by the COMEX or the LBMA. And we'll talk about the COMEX and the LBMA here in a second. First Mint is direct, right? It is the freshest silver on the market, from the mine to the mint to you. Go check them out, firstmint.com. And don't forget, they have a special discount code, VIPRB. Let's take a look at maybe why the silver price is exploding today. We got a lot to cover, guys. Again, I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to please subscribe to the channel. This comes from Bob Coleman. Silver, ETF Alert. ETF Alert. That's the big alert, okay? Walking into the beginning of trading this morning, and there are no available shares to borrow in the silver ETF again. Shorts. What you gonna do? To quote the great Bob Marley, what you gonna do, shorts? What you gonna do when they come for you? You bad boys at the COMEX and the LVMA. All right. So guys, when there are no SLV ETF shares to short, that means they can't short any more silver via that mechanism. Okay, things are unraveling in the precious metals markets like we've never seen before. We're going to talk more about China, Russia, and India toward the end of this, but we are living in historic times for the silver and the gold price. What about $13,975 silver? Is this the reason why we're seeing metals explode, while we're seeing silver explode today? Our friend Make Gold Great Again shared this one. There's that $13,975 silver, but why? Again, this comes from Make Gold Great Again on X. Update July 21st, 2025, there are now 363 paper derivative ounces of silver for every real one. Welcome to the, did he say it? Did he say the S word? The silver squeeze. Yes, he did. And we love it. I love Make Gold Great Again. Here's this graphic, 363 to 1, okay? Paper to real on the right, okay? Hypothetically, hold on a second here. I'm having a little technical problem. Oh, hold on. Hypothetically, in red, the big red box at the bottom, silver's price per ounce if all the paper was converted to physical. And that's, look, you know, when the final silver squeeze unravels, guys, we could see things get super. I know they say they're going to settle for cash and whatever. And yes, I'm not saying we're going to have $13,975 silver next week or anything like that, but we could. And you know what? During my lifetime, I get in a lot of trouble. I get a lot of flack. I don't care. Because in my lifetime, or at least in my children's lifetime, we can see silver prices of $13,000, $25,000, even $50,000 per ounce. Let me ask you a question. How much does silver cost in Confederate dollars? Infinity, right? How much does silver cost in any other of those thousands of paper currencies that have failed, fiat paper currencies that weren't backed by anything, that have failed? Infinity. What about in Zimbabwe dollars? What about, think about this. What about in Venezuelan, what are they, bolivars? Remember, we looked at that chart. I mean, it went from like 500 to, 500,000 in a very short period of time. So yes, we could see an environment where we get, but we're not going there right now. We'll focus on getting to $40 silver, because when we get to $40 silver, it is Katie bar the door. But it's really going to get exciting for the mining stocks, both the gold and the silver mining stocks, and in particular, the junior sector. We're going to talk about that in 1 second, but right now, I do want to say thank you, speaking of mining stocks, to First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold developer. They've got two massive multi-million ounce projects in Canada, Springpole in Ontario and Du Parquet in Quebec. And they have a third big bonus project, the Cameron project, also in Ontario. We're talking about gold in the ground in Canada, right? And probably the safest vault that you could ask for in the world. They're working through the development phase. They're working on the permits. They're doing more drilling and discovering more gold and defining the gold deposits even more. But it's a stock I've owned. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I say. It's a stock I owned long before they sponsored my channel. And I love the opportunity presented by the overall development stage companies, both in the silver and the gold sector, because you're getting metal in the ground in those stocks. That sector, I believe, have yet to really catch up to where the gold and silver prices have gone. Again, I'm not giving financial advice, but I'm telling you my truth as I see it. And it's a big honor for me to have First Mining Gold as a sponsor here in the basement. And I'm not the only one that thinks that there could be a great opportunity in the future with the mining stocks. Let's go out and see what Tim Hackett has to say. He says, silver is less than $1 away from beginning its parabolic rise. This means that mining stocks will suddenly take off with extreme force once silver crosses the $40 mark. Yeah, 40 is going to be the next level of let's say, expansion for the silver price. I mean, it's kind of blatantly obvious. And I think we're going to go from 40 to 50 faster than we can even imagine, guys. We're now at a level where you have to expect very big numbers in a very short period of time, or in other words, vertical. The final breakout is imminent. Okay, so I called Jake from Jake's Custom Parts this morning, asked him if he knew, like, what's going on, what's your opinion, what are you hearing out there? What he shared with me was a lot of different information about what's going on in the gold and silver sector. But I think what we boiled it down to is that, like, the dollar in real terms is just continuing to go down. I'm thinking, like, is it the DXY index? Is it let's take a look and see if the DXY is giving us any hints as to why we are moving the way we are today. Here we go. We're out at Market Watch. The dollar index, healthy below. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's probably a good part of the reason why we are having this big move today. The dollar index down. That's a huge move for the dollar index, down 0.71%. But it's been a few weeks, guys, since we've looked at this. Let's remember something very critical when it comes to the dollar index and what this means directly for the silver and gold price. We talked about this ad nauseum. I'm drawing a line. This is a chart that goes all the way back to, hold on here, about 1985. So that's what, about 40 years worth of data. That red line is the 100 level on the DXY. We broke down below that, as you can see, right in here just recently. However, what's critical for us to remember about this is that, let's just talk about silver. From 2001, so about right here, through 2011, about right here, as you can see, that DXY index went down, down, down. During that period of time, silver went from below $5 per ounce all the way to $50 per ounce. Okay, now when we look at this chart, and I'm going to erase some of this so we can point out something very exciting about the silver potential. When we look at this chart, look where we are right now at about 97. When you look at a 40-year time span, as you can see, we only spent this period of time, and really this period of time, barely above 100. We spent a lot of time in this range down here, which is more in the probably 90 to 75 range. So the future, as we look out, like over the next 10 years, are you feeling warm and fuzzy about the US dollar? Well, let's go look at this and see if this helps you understand what is going on. And this is the US debt clock. No, we don't feel good about the long-term value of the US dollar. We are patriotic people. We believe in what our founding fathers said, but we don't agree with what the U.S. Federal Reserve and our recent slew of politicians have done over the last several decades to work to destroy the real value of the U.S. dollar. Because don't forget, that DXY index we just looked at, that just compares the dollar to a bunch of other cruddy fiat currencies. When you add in the bonus factor, which is that we've racked up debt at a level now that is truly unsustainable. We are truly in the kind of in-game period. I mean, look at this, huh? $37 trillion in debt. We're only going to see the value of the dollar continue downward. And at the end of the day, that will provide massive, massive support for the metals. But on top of that, but wait, there's more. How are you guys doing today? Again, thank you for being here. All 400 of you. We're talking about the reasons why gold and silver just today are having what feels like more, let's say substantial, I'll say historic moves, but that why we are continuing to believe that will be the future movement in the metals as well. What I'm trying to say is thank you for being here, right? Basement dwellers, fiat fighters, we love to talk about this. Please don't forget, subscribe to the channel, because there's a bonus factor on top of that. On top of the world has changed. We got news out of Russia in regards to their new gold exchange. But guys, we are in a climate now. We talked about 2011, $50 silver in 2011 dollars. That's like $80, $90 now. We talked about $50 silver back in what, 1980. That's like 150, 160 in today's dollars. Okay. But things were different then. Okay. We didn't have all that debt. Number one, that we looked at. Okay. We have the debt to GDP ratio that we have now. We didn't have, but on top of that, what we didn't have is a whole new world order. And a whole new world order that puts way, way different value on precious metals. In the 70s and 80s, right, in 2011, the United States ruled the financial world and suppressed the price of gold and silver. Now, thanks to countries like China with their 1.4 billion people and rapidly expanding economy and population, well, maybe not population, but economy, and their love of precious metals. In India, with 1.4 billion people and an expanding population and an expanding economy and an expanding middle class, and their absolute adoration of precious metals, right? We didn't have all that debt in the United States. We didn't have China. China and India have really only emerged over the last few years, right? The last decade. And India is just really beginning to emerge. We are moving into a period of time like no other in history for precious metals. These countries are de-dollarizing. Yeah, I can say that because Goldman Sachs recognizes it. JP Morgan, the world recognizes it. They're saying, bye-bye dollar. They're selling our bonds. Okay, right? And what are they doing? They're moving to precious metals. That's when I was talking to Jake earlier. That was the other thing. He said that silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange is trading at over $40 per ounce. We'll go look at that in a second, but let's look at this first. Woof. And here we go. This, right? Russia to begin trading gold. So we talked about China and India, but Russia also emerging as a major, and I didn't know this. Hold on here. Russia is the world's second largest gold producer, is to free itself from the current dependence of gold price on the London Stock Exchange, the LME, the LBMA, and plans to launch gold trading on the St. Petersburg Exchange. Guys, I'm hearing reports today that's actually occurred. Okay. The world is totally changing when it comes to the value placed on the precious metals. It's absolute historic times that we're living through. It's happening. Remember, like we always knew and put the pieces together. Andy Schectman, I've heard him say like the crumbs of information or the Jenga board. It's happening. Likely happening. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a year from now, I'll be sitting down here saying, well, I was wrong. And I'll gladly admit if I was. But we've been right so far. Let me tell you something right now. You see that bear right there? That bear had a blindfold on. For those of you who are new, you don't know this. For you long-term basement dwellers, you remember it. That bear was blindfolded and it said 2,500. Just like that little silver bear has an $85 blindfold on right now, but that was the gold bear that we were going to take the blindfold off when the gold price got to $2,500. And 3 years ago, I would get hate mail from people telling me I was nothing but a metals pumper and that I was up to no good, none of which was true, right? And that gold would never get to 2,500 when gold was at 1,600, 1,800. Well, guess what? Guess what? Huh? That bear.
Why don't you say hi to some people? And also, you got over 100 likes.
Okay, thank you. Hi to some people, and thank you for the 100 likes. I'll ring the gong here in a second. Thank you, Susie, in all seriousness. This is about the people. This is about us getting together, right? You choose to be here. Your time is important, okay? So when we talk about gold prices going to 4,000, 5,000, remember, they scoffed at us, right? I used to tell a story. We have a neighborhood swimming pool, and I would go to the pool, and if somebody swam up to me, right, that I didn't really prefer to be talking to, one of those neighbors that maybe I just didn't really want to talk to, it was like instant repellent. I could just start talking about gold or silver and they would swim away. Now they all swim toward. Say, Ron, tell us some stories about gold and silver. Yeah, well, they've only been valuable for thousands of years. Guys, we are in a new era. This is new time, and we've waited a long, long time for this. So, buckle up. It's going to be a wild, wild ride. And this is upstairs Susie, for those of you who are new. That's my wife. We talk via walkie-talkie here in the show. And she helps out when I forget to share screens. So everybody say hi to Susie. Say high five, Susie. High five, Silver Susie. Silver upstairs, Susie. High five. All right, let's go say hi to some people. And I got to ring the gong. I'll do that here in a second. Who can I say hi to? John Townley. Nice to see you. Chet. Okay. Hey, why don't you guys, Bill, look, we are all over the world. Silver and gold are valuable everywhere in the world. That's called being decentralized. In the crypto world, they call that DeFi because crypto's the same way. It's valuable everywhere in the world. What? Okay. Hold on a second. Let's check in. You want me to shout out to somebody?
There's a fellow person on the stream, and I really like their username, Frankenbeans.
Frankenbeans, shout out. Franken. All right, you're making Susie laugh. That's priceless. Frankenbeans, thank you. What I want you guys to do, because we are everywhere, in the comments, say where you're at. Say what country you're in, what city, what state, whatever you want to say, and I'm going to try to read it out as fast as I can to show us that we are everywhere. Gold and silver are valuable everywhere, and they always have been. South Dakota, Chet, good to see you. Okay, Oklahoma, Eric Stacks. See, I can do it. Bill from New Jersey, Bill 457. Hello from Montana, Mountain Grizzly. Good to see you. Alvarado, Texas, the Rios 718. Happy Monday, Jason from Jackson, Tennessee. Let's see here. The UK, baby, go with the vibes. United States, Arizona. Retire with silver. Louisville, Kentucky, Lee. Texas, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts, the one and only. Tennessee, Sri Lanka. Wow. Upstairs, Susie's upstairs. Ronnie's Army on the move. Montana. Let's go, baby. Tennessee, Randy Duckman from North Carolina. Ted Femer. Good to see you, Ted. Livermore, California. Emma. Jiffy from Jiffy, Australia. Jiffy from Australia. Minnesota, Ottawa, Iowa. Texas. Denny from Las Vegas. Luxembourg, Fort Worth, Bulgaria. Have we made our point? We are everywhere, us silver and gold investors. Tucson, Arizona, still stacking. I like the basement. I like the basement too. Western Australia, Perth, Nebraska, Pacific California, Winnipeg. I like the bomb. Yeah. Red Deer. All right, guys. Woo, Jake from Jake. Hey, I want to say a special thanks to Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. He's been with the channel. Great guy. Well, oh yeah, thank you, Susie. Well known. I got to ring the gong. Thank you, Jake. And Jake, I called him before I went live here to get some info. Jake's connected, by the way. Okay, and Jake loves Vinny, and I know Chris Marcus as well. Vince Lanchi. I always pronounce his name wrong. I love Vince. I had him on the show. He's a good guy. Good people. Let's ring the gong. Thank you for all the thumbs up, guys. The golden gong. Have a great day. Let's go gold. Let's go silver. All right. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Thank you.